guys. Today we're going to talk about a gap in employment. And what I really want to focus on today is the what and not the why, and specifically why your current or previous gap in employment was a positive. And it really is. You have the opportunity to learn different skills that you wouldn't learn while you're on the job. And by the way, you'll also be more grateful than the person who's currently employed trying to transition into a new role. If you like my content, please like. If you have any comments, please comment below. And if you like my overall content, please subscribe. So let's dive right in. Step one, common step for me, prepare and practice. For a gap in employment, you really want to have a nice crafted, catered answer because this is a tricky one and usually comes from a little bit of a negative place from the interviewer's perspective. So that's a good segue into item two, which is I want you to be confident, I want you to be positive, and I also want you to be brief. So when you're preparing and practicing this question, you're really going to come in and you're going to make sure it's short, but that you're keeping this confident, positive tone. Because if you're confident and positive, your interviewer, again, they come into the question maybe negative, but it perks them up when you're positive and you're giving them good feedback. Item three, and this is the most important one, and I like to call it learn and learned. So if you're spending all your time doing job search and networking and you're treating your job search literally like a job and that's all you're doing, stop and take some time for yourself to learn. And so learning could be watching an awesome video like this, or it could be reading articles or taking online courses or doing community service or traveling or working for yourself. These are all items where you can be learning, and then how what you learned enhanced or gave you a new skill that's going to make you even better for the job. So I crafted a quick example. If I got this question today and somebody asked me what I had been doing since February, since I left Google, one of the items that I would really focus on is my traveling. So I'd basically tell the interviewer, my wife and I had this awesome opportunity to travel the world. And two big takeaways right off the top were gratefulness and empathy. I really learned to enhance these two skills, obviously grateful for the trip, and then empathy as you just encounter and engage with people across the world. And then a few other kind of unanticipated skills that really got strengthened were obviously my communication skills, because a lot of the places we traveled, English wasn't the first language. An ability to just kind of navigate the ambiguity of the unknown. And then lastly, teamwork. I spent a lot of time with my wife over those 5 months, just the two of us, in a lot of close quarters. And so that teamwork piece also really got enhanced. And now as I'm looking back and reflecting on that trip, 5 of those core strengths and skills I thought I had got enhanced by traveling. And I believe that those skills I learned would be a benefit to this organization. And so you're really kind of focused on these skills and strengths. And what you noticed is that answer, it didn't have great fluidity. It wasn't perfect because I haven't practiced it and I haven't prepared it multiple times. So I would fine tune and tweak and tweak and tweak. And then that response would get really, really good. And that's why step one is so critical. But you can see, again, I was really focused on strengths and skills, and those strengths and skills in the recruiter space, all of them would be critical. Item four is connectivity. So I want to kind of talk about this interwoven connectivity of skills. And just as you're thinking about how to interview in any job, if you're taking this piece and always tying it back to what is the position and company calling for, and how are those learned skills applicable in that position? So you're always thinking about this interconnectivity, because if you're always getting back to that place where when you're answering the questions, it's always getting back to alignment for the role, that connectivity piece is just going to be so critical to your success. And in this case, it's extra important. So be thinking about that. Lastly, you're going to get follow-up questions, especially if you have a longer previous gap or current gap. And this is a great opportunity to sell yourself as well, because you can really talk about that confidence piece and how you feel great about the opportunity to learn in a completely different way. That's one. And then secondly, as you're talking about it, you're talking about, hey, I had the opportunity to really find a company that's going to develop and enhance my skills and a place I can stay for the long term. Items that companies really want to hear. So be ready for these follow-up questions. You're going to get them a lot of the time, but especially if you have a longer gap, that's where I really want you to focus and be prepared. Remember that the person who is most concerned about the gap in employment is you. It's not the employer. If you have a great answer, they're not going to really care, but it's the nervousness of having this gap or having this time where you weren't employed where you create this stress in yourself. So don't be stressed about it. Prepare a great answer and you'll do great. If you like my content, please like. If you have any comments, please comment below. And if you like my overall content, please subscribe. Have a great day. Thanks.